Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Non-Stop Talking with your girl here, Vivian Liu. June was kind of busy for me. I had to work some overtime, so I wasn't able to read as much as I usually do. It's kind of a big decline from previous months because I was consuming so much content during quarantine / stay-at-home orders. So yeah, June is gonna be short. Anyways, welcome to my June 2020 reading wrap up. I consumed 5 audiobooks, 2 graphic novels, 2 manga volumes, and 1 children's book. Thus, my grand total is a short 10. I predict that coming to at the end of the year, June will probably be my lowest reading month. Plus the stuff that I read this month, a lot of them I thought were really average, but I did knock out more of the books that was previously on my May 2020 API TBR. Alright, let's first start with the audiobooks. So 1, we have The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This is about Lee Chen Sanders, who travels to Taiwan for the first time to meet her maternal grandparents after her mother died of suicide. Lee is Asian and Caucasian, and she is determined to find her mother, who she now believes is a bird. During her search, Lee will, connect with her grandparents who she's meeting for the first time and uncover some family history. The story contains a bit of magical realism, and those are the parts that I really enjoyed. And I think The Astonishing Colors of After is honestly gorgeously written and very well narrated. Sadly, I personally found it a little overhyped. It was a little too slow and a little too long for my taste. Furthermore, I was expecting some discussions about mental health and how it is viewed particularly in the Asian or Asian American community, and that doesn't really happen here. Plus, I wasn't a fan of Axel and Lee's relationship that they had. Nonetheless, this description of the birds and I think the emotions being put into color, that was really beautiful. I appreciate the tour of Taiwan and Taiwanese food, but I think the story could have been more poignant. But I thought the conclusion was really great, and I was touched by the realness from the author's note, and overall I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. 2 is I Love You So Mochi by Sarah Kuhn. Kimmy and her mother get into this big argument because Kimmy isn't sure she wants to pursue art, and her real hobby or her hobby is in fashion. Right after this fight, she gets a letter from her estranged maternal grandparents about visiting Kyoto. Oh, astonishing color much? No, just yeah, visiting her grandparents in Kyoto for spring break. Kimmy takes this opportunity to get away and explore so that she can find herself and possible love. This book was really slow, but that's understandable because there wasn't really a plot. So Kimmy's mother wants Kimmy to pursue art, but Kimmy doesn't know if she wants to pursue art, and her focus is on fashion. But wait, is fashion designing not art? Where is the conflict in that? Furthermore, Kimmy is complaining about not knowing what she wants to do. She's so unsure about the future, but she spends so much of her time creating these Kimmy originals, and I'm just girl, you really don't know what you want to do? You do it all day long. There just wasn't really the main character's dilemma was non-existent. It wasn't real. And the love interest in this, what's his name, Akira, he sounded so fake and convenient and way too understanding of everything. So yeah, so obviously the conclusion wrapped up really nicely because it wasn't there was any real conflict to begin with. But I did think that the grandparents, they were like really adorable, and I love the descriptions of Japan and hearing about the culture shock that Kimmy faced. I gave this a 3 out of 5. 3 is Ruse by Cindy Pon. Ruse is the second book in a duology. The first book is titled Want. I was pleasantly surprised by Want and was super excited for Ruse. Sadly, I wasn't impressed. It wasn't as good as the first book, and I had difficulty like holding my attention. I had mostly 3 main issues with this. I think like 1, I wasn't sold on this whole like ride or die friend group. I didn't really get that like deep touching like friend emotions from them. 2, the main couple in this really lacked chemistry, and then at the end there was like a really cheesy confession that was inserted that I thought was just, it came from nowhere, it wasn't necessary, didn't like it. And then 3, the conclusion was very, very happy and hopeful, and I think it failed to address the issues and impact of this dystopian world. Like, there were so many troubles and problems, and then supposedly you're gonna tell me and everything is happily ever after. Like, I don't know, I was just like kind of disappointed by all of that, and I ended up giving this a 3 out of 5. Number 4 is One Day We'll All Be Dead and None of This Will Matter by Sachiko. In short, I didn't find this funny, even though it's described as a humorous collection of autobiographical essays. So I think it didn't succeed in that part. Frankly, it was a little boring, and I don't feel like these essays brought anything new to the table, and I think the essays lacked like reflection. I really wanted to know like how the author like matured and grew from these situations, and I felt like the essays didn't go into that, and like yeah, it felt very lacking in that aspect for me personally. But I did really like her piece on like rape culture, and I do think that this author is a really spectacular writer, and I can see how others could love and learn from this collection. Sadly, I wasn't one of them, but I do want to say that this definitely has its merits. It just wasn't for me, okay? And I ended up giving this a 2.5 out of 5, and I feel really bad for it. I'm sorry. Number 5 is Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. I know I am super duper late to this book, yes, but I'm here, I read it, I know now. So the story, it's about Melinda, who calls the cops at the end of the summer party, and now she's become the friendless outcast at school, but like something really terrible happened to her at the party, and that's why she called the cops, and now she has to keep that a secret to herself, and she doesn't have any friends, and it's just, all of it is just really sad. I have a written review for Speak, which I will link down below, that will better explain my thoughts. Overall, I thought Speak is just like this really profound story that I can understand why many people like hold dear. I can see its impact and understand its importance. I think the conclusion for me, there was something about it that I didn't really like, but overall I ended up giving this a 3.8 out of 5. Next, we are going to be talking about everything I read that had drawings in it. At 6, we have Darth Vader and Friends by Jeffrey Brown. So last month I read/reread all the 3 other books in this children's book set. It's called Star Wars, Darth Vader, and Kids. All of them are cute, fun, and funny. This 4th one is probably my least favorite, but I still gave it a 3.9 out of 5 because honestly they're just all really entertaining, and Jeffrey Brown is super clever. I highly recommend you check it out, even if you're not like a Star Wars fan. Number 7 is Check Please Book 2, Sticks and Stones by Ngozi Ukazu. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, someone please teach me how to say this name. This is the second and final book in this graphic novel duology, and it's so freaking adorable and fluffy. Oh my god, it was like, I was just, oh, so great. The first book introduces us to Biddy, who is a college freshman hockey player at Samuel University. He's a vlogger, baker, and he's gay. Anyways, I thoroughly enjoyed the second volume. I thought it was like an improvement from the first, and the first was actually pretty good already, so wow, amazing. But yeah, the second volume just made me so happy watching the characters grow and mature and then go to the step of them graduating from university. Just melted my heart. It was all so endearing and just cotton candy. I highly recommend this diverse graphic novel. The bonus content at the end was great as well. I had some issues with the flow and dialogue sometimes, but it wasn't a huge deal and didn't take away from just like how great this graphic novel really is. And I think one of the things is just like this main relationship just makes my heart flutter, and I love how much these two characters just love and support each other. Oh, 4 out of 5. Number 8 is Heavy Vinyl Volume 2, Y2KO. I really enjoyed the first volume and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5. I was really looking forward to the second volume. I think the art and the fashion in this was still really good the second time around. However, the plot was just not working with me. There was so much going on and it felt like kind of disconnected in a way. I'm hoping that the third volume will come back and the fun of all of this will return. I ended up giving the second volume a 3 out of 5. Number 9 and number 10 is Orange Volumes 3 and 4 by Ichigo Takano. Volume 3 was touching and a little silly, but overall touching. My heart like really just ached for Suga. Things are progressing and it made me like really look forward to the next volume. I was still hoping for a bigger emotional punch, but I think just like volume 3 itself is pretty solid and I ended up giving a 3.8 out of 5. As for volume 4, I liked the sports festival and the emotions conveyed during that part, but I didn't like the heavy focus on like Naho's crush, and I felt like there were some things that were somewhat lacking, and I ended up giving this a 3 out of 5. By the way, I don't like the bonus story in this at all. I don't even read it anymore. Like once I like get to like the end of Orange, I'm like, okay, I'm done. The other stuff I just ignore. That's it. Those are the 10 things I read in July 2020. Just a reminder, Breonna Taylor still has not received justice. There is a law with her name on it, but her killers are still on the loose. We need to fix that. Outro time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in my next video whenever that is. Bye! But she